Hello everybody, welcome back to Transport Fever and welcome back to Europe 1856. Those of you who have watched episode 1 will know where we're at. If you haven't, quick recap is we have our transport for our passengers between each city, and we have some sort of construction equipment going here into our main city and into Wadebridge as well. Now, we've been making a good amount of cash. Nothing major, but enough to be able to kind of expand on what we've got and pay back a little bit of the loan. We've still got some of the loan left and we want to try and pay that off as soon as possible. And until that stage, we need to try and look at making more money and getting some more stuff transported, and hopefully that should naturally see us make more money, hopefully. Now, the one thing we can do is we can take oil up to our refinery here, turn it into fuel and then deliver it. However, that's quite a lengthy process because the oil's down here and there is an oil somewhere around up top, but it's quite a distance away. So we're going to oil transport up to there, then we can move it into our various cities. So obviously these three cities, well mainly these two cities here, will be quite a distance for us to get that fuel up and down. So we want to hopefully get vehicles that'll carry more goods, because obviously these roads are going to start getting busy. I mean, they're already busy now with the two types of vehicles on the road, but let us have a look at doing that. Now we do have coal and we have iron ore here ready for smelting, which is there, but that's going to be an expensive track to go there, and we probably will use a track to go in there. And then we'll have steel available and slag available as well. The slag we can move back into here and make into construction materials if we want, so we can reduce the hassle of the stone, or we can just basically get more supplies, or we can move it to here with some wood, which again is another lengthy process as we have to get the wood chopped into planks, and our nearest planks is all the way over there, quite a distance. So I have some train setups there for a later stage. For now, however, we want to look at getting this oil up to our refinery and then fuel into our main city. For now, we'll look at getting fuel into the other parts of the city. Let's double check and make sure we have coverage. So that's covering most of that there. Now what I will do at some stages is I will probably build a second one of these and ferry it between the two and see if that kind of spreads the requirements, but I'm not entirely sure. It's nowhere near at the moment. We can actually get some more supply going in there, and we'll probably look at doing that. But let's get our oil and our refinery set up. Okay, so first we're going to need our truck station for our oil refinery. Now normally I put it closer to one or the other city, but because there's two quite close together, I'm just going to slap it right next to it. Doesn't make any odds at all. And then obviously we have our oil supply here. That one can be a bit closer. There we go, and we can get a line going there. So oil to oil refinery. There we go. New line, oil refinery to Sidmouth. New line. And we'll just take the three closest for us at the moment. But we will, however, make that a bit different. So crude, truck first truck, crude to refinery, line 2, fuel to truck, fuel to Sidmouth, innit? Okay, them two are done. So who else have we got? We've got Mansfield and Malmesbury. line 3. Truck. Oh, it's not. It's that one's. Fuel 2. Okay. So then 3 have got vehicles. Sorry, then 3 have got lines sorted. Let's buy some vehicles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Set line. Crude to refinery. And then we're going to need that. One, two. Oh, we have enough money. It's okay. Fuel to Sidmouth. It's always worth remembering, even though you do get a depreciation of your money on vehicles, once you've purchased a vehicle you do get something towards your next vehicle. It still holds some value, so it's not always a bad thing buying the lesser vehicle and upgrading them at a later stage, because you're having it working, you've got it doing something, you've got it making money, and then once you start making a profit you can just improve on the vehicle as you earn enough profit to do it. I mean, all our lines are making good money, every one of them. That's making a little bit more now. Obviously we made this line here, now we've had to bend it quite considerably because, well, basically that line there was highly expensive to just do there, but we'll revise that at a later stage. Obviously with better vehicles we'll have faster vehicles, so we still have no money. Obviously it's just cost us a lot just to get that kind of line going there. Well, we've got oil going now. Oh, what we need to do is we need to make sure they collect fully there, so they're not running empty. They run empty, they cost money, so your return loads obviously are losing you money, but it's a sacrifice unfortunately you have to make. I can't remember if the one had one. Yeah, it did. Okay, so we've got one vehicle on each for the deliveries, so we need to wait now until they get the crude oil in. Fantastic. Obviously the more we develop these cities as well, the more transport we're going to get for passengers, and then we can start looking at getting trains, because obviously there'll be more demand for travelling. All in all, we're looking good. Oh, we're nearly at the oil well. Now obviously they will spread out quite quickly, these, because there probably won't be enough supply there. It was 40 there might be enough supply for all of them. It'll just take them a moment to get loaded up, so they'll spread out slowly and surely, and then we can add more vehicles to the line. But we're looking good. Now obviously we're only going to be producing fuel at the refinery. That's not a problem whatsoever, as we will come to use the oil later down the line for the plastics. So at first that will struggle at first because it'll produce both, but then it will switch over to just producing fuel. And it's got good potential for fuel already, so that's good. It's using the line, they're all using the line now, which is good. Excellent, so once they get back they should give us plenty of fuel there to get us going. And we'll leave that running just the one vehicle for now, because there'll be quite a fair bit of back and forward for each one of them anyway at the moment, but there's just not quite enough supply going to it. We'll probably increase the supply first before we increase the supply of fuel. Okay, so we're looking good still on transport. What is everybody waiting for? We're looking good. We're clearing it. It's just taking a moment or two to clear. So most of these vehicles are going back with passengers, which is good. There's 9 residents in one building. Now the one thing I do want to look at is actually producing some sort of layout for my cities. So that'll come when we do earn some megabucks. We'll probably strip the cities back, build some main road lines in so the traffic's a little better as well, because these won't support, you won't get the full upgrade on these, they're too wide. But that's not a problem, that's something we'll look at once we start earning the megabucks. So let's move forward a little bit now until we've earned a little bit more money. Hello everybody, welcome back, and as you can see we've made a bit of money, but we've also took out a bit of a loan. So we took out the last bit, so we're back up to our 2 million again. But I just wanted to get this train in, just so I knew where I wanted to put it, and I did make a slight mistake and I put a passenger one down first. A very expensive mistake, I might add. Try and avoid that if you can. So what I've done here is I've kind of done a setup. So this is what's going to happen here. This is going to be the new road that's replaced when we got the money to build it, because we're not going to need all this here. We can probably get rid of that because it's going to be supplied by the train, and then obviously all that's going to go on to supplying our cities, and obviously our outreach cities here we'll start having supplies as well. We are making money on almost everything. A couple that are dropping down a little bit here and there, but that's not a problem, because what you got to bear in mind is okay, yeah, these may not earn as much money as the crude is delivering to the refinery, but without these 3 here we won't have the supply, so the demand for this one. So bear that in mind. You're not technically making a loss, you're technically creating the demand, therefore supplying. Plenty of fuel being stored up there, which is good. And obviously what we want to aim to do is we want to also get this to go down through to here as well, but that's going to be quite an expensive track because there's quite a lot of hill there. If we have a look at the contour lines, that's, we look at that major contour there. Now we can slide down the minor contours, but still we're going to have to break through this here to get through there. But that's not an issue at a later stage. It just is at this stage because we're not earning enough money. We can't even put a train on the track yet because we haven't got the money to do so. But we are making enough money to start looking at things. So 330k. So we're not earning as much as we should be doing, really. As a matter of fact, we may consider. As a matter of fact, I am going to I'm going to drop as many as I can. Just don't supply. We'll shut them on. Just don't supply. I'm not overly worried about that because that will, them vehicles will move over to other supply lines at a later stage. So if it gets overfilled here, we can just move some over, and then hopefully we'll have enough money for our train. So let's see how that impacts things. South Shields is still very quiet. I have placed an exchange in the South Shields so that we can start delivering construction materials to that now. So we're providing the 3 cities here with construction materials and the 3 cities here with fuel. So Sidmouth is getting everything at the moment, and it's still only mediocre, you know, it's and poor still for the population. So we've got plenty we can expand on. How are we looking here? So it's getting quite a lot of passengers there. So may put some more on Weybridge. Let's put 2 more on Weybridge. Oh, we can only get 1. Okay, let's chuck the 1 on there and get another one. Yes, there we go. Let's get you over to Weybridge as well. And bearing in mind, the more we buy for that there, the quicker they will get round to each other, and the more passengers will want to travel. So you're trying to catch up with the demand, but the demand increases as you start to get better services. Something to note worthwhile, but it's a bit of a cash flow you can dip into there. Okay, our new vehicles are almost making it to our supply line here. Takes a while. Realistically, we should have probably built, you know, some truck depots closer to these systems, but I haven't got a problem with waiting for them to travel. You just lose a bit of money by doing it this way, but you know, it's one of them. This is a lot quieter around here. Here is just packed with vehicles at the moment, so I want to try and get some of these vehicles away and get it onto the train system, so we haven't got as many travelling up and down here. Now I may actually keep the road at some stage and just put it so it's a nice straight line, but once this is connected I'm going to remove the road if I can, just so I've got room to manoeuvre and hopefully build a better system at a later stage if I need more trucks or anything like that on it. But the train should supply it. We can expand the train system anyway, so we can have, you know, 2 tracks, 3 tracks more going into that. Okay, let's create our train line so it's ready. So Weybridge to Weybridge transfer. So we'll stone train supply. Okay. A lot of truck supplies there. They're almost getting there, so we should see a nice little bump of cash going in there. I mean, look at that. I mean, they've just ran the vehicles all the way up there, taking money off me, and it's still not broken it down less than that, really, which is good. They're all in about 20k now, which is nice. That should be a nice boost to our supply here. Our vehicles are still waiting. You're waiting for construction, even though you guys there's non-forced submit yet. So yeah, that might start building up a lot there, but that's not an issue. As I say, once we can switch it over to the train, we're going to have plenty of vehicles here to move on to the other lines. And look at that, it's not even made a dent. Absolutely loads of stone available. They're all going to hit that and unload it in no time. They've hardly even broken the gaps between the vehicles because the stone's just constant. Now, as they get here to unload, they may backlog a little bit and then spread themselves out a bit. They do spread themselves out over a longer period of time. It's just right away you're going to have a big influx there, but it's not an issue. It'll all get, you know, changed into construction materials and used on the lines. Fuel's looking good. We could probably get some more vehicles on the fuel line at some stage. We're still getting a big influx every now and then, so that may go down before they get back, so we'll keep an eye on that. If that starts spreading all over the place, then we need to start considering putting more vehicles on it, much like the oil is and the stone is that we've just addressed. Plenty of production limit there, plenty, nowhere near using it. Probably the one thing that I haven't done in the past that I've started to try and do in this game is I've been trying to concentrate on maximising these here. I mean, you've got 424 construction materials and 424 fuel that we can supply to, which will increase its, you know, its ability to expand and stuff like that. I think, if I'm right in thinking, that it will continue to demand that until both of them are met, you know, until they're all met. But basically, if that's still less than that, it doesn't take half of each, you know, or whatever. I think it'll take both of them, so we've got plenty to play with, and that's what I'm going to try and start looking at is building the rail supply into a depot outside of each city. Now the only problem is obviously if you've got supplies going into this side, we'll probably have to put a depot on this side for bigger cities. Smaller cities like this will just have one here that'll lead into it, one here that'll lead into that possibly. I mean, there is supply around here, but we'll probably put one on one side. Or we could actually put it there, I guess, put the whole depot there and run it around. And basically trains to depots and trucks going into the city. Obviously I don't want to put, I want to put a passenger train in the centre of the city, but I'm going to have to do some reconstruction there to do it, and I want to try and build the city around the train station there, so that's the passengers sorted, and then vehicles can move around the city, like trams, buses. We'll probably get some trams in, to be fair, because I quite like the trams going around the city. They look pretty smart. I mean, look at that, they're just eating the way through that, and they've spread the vehicles out nicely already. Look at that big gap now between each vehicle. That's going to have boosted our cash nicely. There you go, about 10k more than what we were earning before, and that's before it's done the full cycle. Look at that, excellent. So not long until we'll be able to get a new train. Now Field to Mansfield is making a loss at the moment. That's because it's travelling so far. Again, that's where the train comes in handy. We can just bring a train in there to deliver the fuel. It'll already have the train line in from the supply, but in the meantime we'll probably just run vehicles around. 32 minutes. We could put a road in, but then the road's needed there as well. There's quite a lot of bends in that road. We'll leave it for now. Again, as I say, that's still providing supply and demand, and that's making 30k there. Obviously when we come to get our train down there, it's going to be even better. We just cannot get through that stone. I set max production, so it's actually due an upgrade at some stage, so that's good. That'll be good for our train. It'll go straight into supplying at high supply, which is great, and I think it's using the line now, which is good. Well, it will be using the line because it's got line usage on the quarry. Look at that, excellent. So we're in a good position here. We just need to buy the train now, which costs a fortune. Got 125k for the I think it's actually a bit more than that actually. Have a look at the cost. So yeah, 123k for the locomotive, and then another 125k for the open wagon, which only takes 4, which is the same as what our vehicles take. So higher cost, faster vehicle, and hopefully that'll pay off. I want to try and get 5 carts. So what I'm actually going to do is now I don't normally do this, but I just want to get this line going, and it's going to be so profitable that I'm actually going to take out the loan and buy the vehicle. So 1, and we'll buy 6 of these for now, just to keep us going. There we go. Because then I can alleviate some of these vehicles into delivering. Look at that, it's just, see what I mean? Just passengers are just wanting to get on these buses, which is great. I mean, Sidmouth is brilliant at the moment because it's such a centralised location. It's just taking passengers from everywhere. Okay, now, we need to sort our train line so it will always pick up from Wadebridge there and only drop off at Wadebridge transfer. Okay, now it's not the fastest of vehicles, this train, but it's a lot faster than that vehicle. And we're getting 6 at once, so I mean, them carts are flying. You're doing 40 kilometres, you're doing 15 kilometres. Now it may not pick up anything because it's not actually supplying to the train. Come on. Okay, we'll send it back so it knows it's being in use. Yeah, it should be supplying it. There we go. So we can actually send this back now. Well, we'll let it run its course, give it time to stack up. It looks good. I do like the level of detail you get when you're looking at these things. I mean, look, the little rusty carriage type things carrying the stone in. It looks proper smart. I mean, you get the same here as well. Well, it's only a small bit of detail, but it's quite clever. Okay, how much have we got here? 40. So we have more than what the train can carry now. So that train should now start providing it with a good supply back and forward. So let us have a look at some of our vehicles. I'll take the first 4 here, and you can all go on to we'll take 3 actually for now. 2, 3. So 3 have been redistributed to the other lines. Okay, let's see how our train does for profit. Obviously it made a loss because it took a while to connect to itself. It's almost in. Now that should really boost this production. There we go. 22k there in one hit. That should pick up as it's going back and forward, so we'll keep an eye on that. But we should hopefully start seeing a major profit increase here. We need to start looking at paying off this loan because we're just losing money here, so that's the next aim, is to obviously pay the loan off. Now when we can afford it, I want to replace the vehicle to carry more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And when it can afford it, at 1.37 million. Now obviously that's not completely accurate because obviously there is the value of the vehicle that's on now, so if we were to replace it now it would only cost us 513k. Now I'm hoping when the vehicle comes to its life it will automatically just change it anyway, but when we're looking at that kind of money we'll probably change it ourselves. Okay, so the supply is there now, so we'll take 3 more off. Okay, there we go. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So this is 1860, it's a new year, so we can see how we're actually doing now. So let's see if we're going to make a profit this year. Okay, so we've just hit January 1861. As you can see, last year we made 125k. So the changes we've made are certainly a change in the right direction. The railroad itself earned 161k, which is pretty much what we have got in increased value. So hopefully that will continue throughout this year, building up and building up. Obviously the first couple that it did were a bit low because it was still getting to grips with its supply and demand. We've also switched over some of the vehicles now from the stone supply into the delivery of the construction goods. We've actually got quite a few of them going now. Well, the only thing is South Shields is currently taking more of the vehicles. Well, that's not a problem. Sorry, Sidmouth is, sorry. But that's not a problem. We can move things around, not a problem. We have a mediocre supply of construction materials there. 44% there and 12% there, so absolutely loads of room for increased supply there, which is excellent. Now we may consider moving that onto train supplies at a later stage. As I say, I want to build some vehicle depots where the trains go into the vehicle depots, the vehicles deliver it into the cities, and try and reduce long distance vehicle delivery. Now the fuel supply is this doing well for us? Charts produced. Okay, so it's this one we want. Okay, so it's loading and unloading, so it's a little bit lower than where we want it. So we'll buy 3 more vehicles. 2, 3. We will have fuel 1, Malmesbury, Mansfield, and into Sidmouth. Hopefully that should bridge that gap there. There's quite a distance for our vehicles to be going to, really. It's not a problem. Oh, we've got plenty of construction here now. I mean, that's a lot of stone on that there. A lot of stone on there, so we can hopefully increase that train. How much is it going to be to increase our train? Oh, we don't want to be going there. Stone train supply. Replacement. So we need 557k to replace it yet. So we're not quite there for that. About halfway. How are we doing on? Alright, look at that. That's all in the green. Every one of them. That's brilliant. And that's where we want it to be. The truck supply for stone is going down slowly, but that's fine. Then our construction, it's about average. That's quite a good price. That's good. It's just constant now, which is great. So obviously the thing for me to do really next is try and earn that money to get the train upgraded, try and move all the vehicles over onto these lines, provide more vehicles for these lines, because at the moment we are not meeting this here. This is just producing way much more than what we're delivering. And then start building our truck depots on each side of the city. Now what I may do is I may actually build the truck depot here and then bring a line into the city here. That might be a good option. Obviously we've got a bit of a mountainside here, so we may have to flatten that out at some stage. Or we could push the city's development that way and build it here, I guess. Either way, that's what we want to do. And then hopefully cargo delivery point for trucks to drop off freight. Cargo cannot be picked up here, that's fine. I mean, we could look into doing stuff like that for the city as well, get it around, you know, so we're not having to go straight into there. And we can start targeting these areas as well, which will be a good idea. Okay, just switch that over just so we don't forget. We're making good money. Passengers in each city ready to transport. Delivery of goods is ready to transport. Supply is good. We're excellent. So on that note, I think we're going to leave it here for this episode. I want to let it continue for a little bit, and hopefully we can build up on our money pot and we can start bringing some serious amount of stone into here. And I'm actually going to move these vehicles over fully now, so we don't have them anymore on the lines, on the supply line. We can have them going to there we go, respective cities. So there's no more road supply for the stone, so we can actually get rid of that line now. Get rid of that there, we don't need it now. So all that will go onto the train, and then once that train makes some more money, we can then get it going. Did I buy more vehicles? Yes, I did. So we're still technically in the green, which is good. Running costs. We're still a long way to make some more money here. We're running in August, so there's plenty of time there now. Okay, so that'll just continue plodding along for now. Until next time, everybody, take care for now. Make sure you hit that thumbs up if you have enjoyed the video, and remember, hit the comment section if you want to see anything special or anything like that, if you have any hints, tips or anything of your own, or just genuinely want to have a chat about the episode. But hopefully you've enjoyed it. Let me know if you have done, and remember, if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button to see more on this series come up on your notification if you hit that bell. Bye bye for now.